Happy New Year and welcome to the first Griffon Sports Insider of 2011.
Should be wearing hats and blowing on the horns, but no singing this week, folks. Packed show, and it's rivalry week for Western basketball. Griffon's prepared to take on Northwest Missouri State.
But before we look ahead, we look back. The Griffons tipped off the New Year Sunday against Nebraska-Omaha. Sunday, Griffon men ringing in the new year with UNO. Griffons doing what they do best early on, running the floor. Pialin Stinnett, the long touchdown pass to TJ Johnson, who jams it home. Stinnett, not sure if that's worth 2 or 6. Later, Jonathan Phelps with one of his 3 steals, then slams home 2 of his 15 points. Griff's down 16-15 at this point, but still running. Later, off the miss, Phelps to Stinnett, who will throw it down with authority. Western up 25-23 now, but UNO likes to run too. Mitch Albers around the world and one, part of a 13-2 Maverick run. They're up 37-26. Before the half, though, Griffs fire back. Stinnett, the crossover and 3, drills it. He had 18. Western cuts the gap. They're down 43-41 at halftime. Second half, both teams still firing away. Adrian Thomas drains 3 of his 18 points. Griffs up 53-48 now, but then UNO just goes off. Jeff Martin for 3. Then Albers from the same spot. He had a game-high 25 points. UNO on top 65-63. A minute to play. They'd be up 3. Tyler Bullock, the whistle, the 3-point play. Mavericks double their lead. Griff's still swinging, though. 30 seconds left. Deontay Mitchell draws the whistle and drops the 3. He'll get a 4-point play. The Griffons had 6 players in double figures, but it's not enough. Omaha shoots 58% from the floor, and they outgun the Griffs 98-93, the final.
It was a good game. I mean, as far as defense, we have to communicate more and just talk more on the defense. And offensively, we're always going to be a good team. We have inside presence now with Levante and DeJuan back, and I think defense we have to work on the most.
And joining us right now is head men's basketball coach Tom Smith. Now, you said it on Sunday. You walk into that gym thinking you'd score 93 points. People think you'd be okay.
I would have thought we'd been fine with 93 points. I was, obviously dismayed, would be the right way to put this after that game and score 93 and get beat by 5. I think, again, if you'd have walked in there at the beginning of the game and said, you've got 93 points in your pocket, will you play the game? And I'd said, no, I'll take it the way it is. But I do think this. I think we caught a team that played really, really well against us. I'm not going to, every time you lose, you're finding a reason to lose. We didn't do this, we didn't do that, we didn't. Some of it was the fact that they made some really big shots when they needed.
Well, 6 players in double figures, 19 assists. Pialin Stinnett gives you scoring. Jonathan Phelps, Adrian Thomas, 18 points. He's starting to get healthy, isn't he?
He was a surprise, I think, more than anything else because of his shooting. But again, I think I mentioned this, at the media luncheon that. He was a kid who, while he was hurt with his knee, he just shot every day. And he went from being a pretty mediocre shooter to obviously shooting the ball very, very well yesterday. Those were the good signs. I mean, there were a lot of good things there. I think the bad thing is when we have to talk about our defense right now because defensively we're having trouble. And as we talked a little bit off the air before we started, we're not the only ones. I mean, there's a lot of people in the league right now that are struggling defensively and having a hard time getting the other guy stopped.
But with all due respect, and I say this lightheartedly, there's not a lot of teams giving up 90 points when they're scoring 90 points. And it seems like, like you said, everything's clicking offensively. 6 guys in double figures, you can't ask for anything more than that. But how do you diagnose the defensive problem, and what do you do to fix it, or do you?
Well, we better get it fixed, or it's going to be a long, it's going to be an up and down year, I think, is what you're looking at right now. I don't know if I'd say a long year, but it's going to be tough to win consistently if you cannot defend a little bit. Now, you do have to remember, with the way we are playing, scores are going to get up there. I mean, I'll tell you right now, because we're not a type of team that tries to control the tempo a whole lot. We are going to get up and down. We are going to run a little bit. When you're scoring in the 90s, you're probably going to, I think we gave up 80 to Washburn, but we scored 103.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of that. The problem that we're having right now is that when you come down and you shoot fast, all right, make or miss, okay, and you're back on defense, and the other team's a little more patient making you play defense, you're on defense too much.
Now you're back from break, and you have to go on the road this week. We'll talk more about that when GSI comes back.
Basketball to me is life. Basketball to me means being together as a family.
Out there doing what I love with teammates I love.
5 players becoming a unit, working hard to get the job done.
Because it brings out the true character, you really find out really who you really are sometimes.
You learn not to take the easy answer. You learn to have a common goal. Those are the things that are important about basketball.
And welcome back to GSI. Ryan Menley along with Brett Easley and head men's basketball coach Tom Smith. Got to go on the road this week. Got to go on the road to the rival on Wednesday, Northwest Missouri State. Now they've struggled, 3-7 overall, 1-5 in conference play. They had a heck of a rough start. But what do you see in the Bearcats this season?
Well, I think they're a team that has gotten hurt by the schedule, I think, more than anything else. I mean, they're actually 1-7 if you want to get, in D2s, because I'm on that voting board. I just throw out all those other games, and any of these teams that have NAIA wins, they don't count. So same with us. It puts us really at 2 games under 500 instead of just 1. But I think they're a team that's gotten hurt by the schedule. 4 straight road games in some difficult places to play. They played very, very well in all of them, right down to the wire. Didn't win any of them. Went home to Hayes. They got down 16 or 17 to Hayes at home. Came back, actually took the lead, had a chance to win that game, and lost a 1-pointer to Hayes. They lost to Omaha at Omaha in overtime. So I think they're a very, very good 1-5 team in the league. So I think they're going to be very, very dangerous. They obviously have a number of good players, but certainly Elijah Allen can play with anybody in the MIAA.
Well, I'm looking at the Bearcats. They play 10 players. They have a lot of youth this year. He plays 3 freshmen, more than 10 minutes a game. Some things have changed up there, but one thing, at least on paper, that hasn't. They're still going to guard you, aren't they?
I think that, they're probably not quite in the Tapmeyer era, but they're going to guard you. They're going to play hard. I think the thing that Ben's done really, really well with Northwest is that you certainly no quitting these kids. It's not like, we're 1-7 or we're 1-5 in the league and we're gonna quit. And I think that's what you've got more than anything else. I think they're going to come to play. They're going to play very tough. I think this rivalry, at this point probably means more to them, especially having the home game. I think it's very, very important. But as I've said before, if we're going to be a team that's going to contend, you're going to have to win at least 2 of the next 3 road games. That's for sure.
Saturday you go to Lincoln, 2-8 overall, 0-6 in MIAA play. They're just not very good. They haven't been very good so far.
They, their trouble, I think more than anything else, is the scoring. They're just having trouble putting a lot of points on the board. Pierre DeCluse, a transfer that played at Penn Valley a couple years ago in Kansas City, and he's a good player. They have a couple other good players. It's just not the type of team that's going to go on the road and win a lot of games. But, we don't play them on the road. We play them at home. And anytime you go into Lincoln, I've been there many, many times, it can be a tough place to play.
Well, 3-3 in the league. Long way to go. And again, it's early. But as you look at these next 3 games, all teams below us in the standings, you think 2 out of 3? You think we need them all?
Well, I think we need them all, to be honest with you. But 2 out of 3 would certainly keep us alive, because I think you're going to see some. I think you're going to see some strange things happening as we go along. Sure. There's so many games. I think when you play a 22-game conference schedule, you're going to see teams' peaks and valleys and change around. As I said earlier, Southern gets beat by Pittsburgh at Southern. I would have never guessed that this early in the season, but it may be their time when they're just not as sharp as they were early in the season.
Okay, Coach Smith. Drum roll, please. Easley's impromptu. You ready?
Ready.
Chiefs-Ravens. Blessing in disguise for the Chiefs or Chiefs' demise? Who are you picking?
Ooh, Chiefs' demise.
Chiefs' demise. I'm with you on that.
I don't like the way they played in their last game.
Oh, yeah.
Your New Year's resolution?
To lose about 10 pounds. I can't get in any of my clothes to go to the games.
10 pounds, that's all, huh? I'm looking at 30 or 40 and you're at 10. So.
At least.
Okay.
When I'm searching my closet to find clothes to wear, that's not a good sign.
You may not be able to give me just one name, but who's the most favorite player you coached here at Missouri Western? If you had to give me one.
Scotty Williams. Very first year, I think one of my favorite. I've had a lot of good ones and everything, but Scotty would be my favorite.
Last but certainly not least, your favorite vacation spot?
St. Martin.
Okay. I probably could have answered that one for you, but I had to ask.
That is Tom Smith. Good luck on the road this week.
Good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
GSI will be right back.
Basketball.
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 It's a dance.
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes of pure emotion. It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffin. Well, no doubt about it, folks. The Missouri Western women are the surprise of the MIAA so far.
Who saw this coming? The Griffins are perfect 6-0 at home this season. That's after 2 big home wins this past week. Wednesday, the Griffins shaking off the Christmas break rust with a solid Newman squad and no problems here in St. Joe. Jessica Cook led the way with 17 points as the Griffins go on to beat Newman 65-57. Western 5-0 at home. Sunday, Griffin women taking on Nebraska Omaha. Lynn Plett taking on the bearded look. Western taking early control. First half, Rachel Lutine showing off the hook shot down low. Griffins with an early 18-9 lead. Later, Jessica Cook, the sort of alley-oop to Brenna Celine. Celine 11 points, Cook 11 assists. Western up by 11. Then it's Little Bear Bell showing off the big-time post moves down low, the hook shot of her own. Griffins up 36-30 at halftime. Second half, UNO gets hot. Lady Mavericks go on a 9-0 run from downtown. This Jamie Nash 3 ties it at 45, but the Griffins answer. Cook to Lutine, who draws the whistle and gets a 3-point play. Western regains the lead. Later, Lutine again in the post. She had 21 points, 10 rebounds, Western by 6. Then Cook takes it herself and won. She had 10 points to go along with the 11 assists. Western 4 players in double figures. They hold UNO to 29% shooting, and they go on to win 71-63. Western perfect at home on the season. They run their record to 7-3, and that equals their win total from all of last season.
You know, that just shows how much better we are this year. You know, we're all willing to step up and do our part and do what we need to do, and we all came together and stiffened up. You know, we didn't let them get the lead, and that helped us get the win.
I think we're playing more consistently. And, you know, it's been helpful that we played last 4 games at home, and now we have to go on the road a little bit more, and especially this Wednesday, it's going to be a real tough team to play up at Northwest. So, but it's fun. That's what's the fun part. It means something now. And
Just making for a great year. Just couldn't ask for a better year.
And joining us right now is head coach Lynn Plett. First of all, serious question.
Oh, starting off serious.
Serious question.
What's up with the beard?
What's up with your beard?
I don't know. Are you trying to look like me?
I don't have a beard, folks. No beard here.
Kind of got a little lazy over break and decided I wanted to see how gray it is, and now I'm finding out that it is pretty gray.
Okay, well, looks good. I like it personally.
Well, your team's not making your hair gray. 4-game winning streak, Coach Plett. Let's talk about the Newman game first. You come back off break. You never really know how your team's going to respond. I tell you what, you had 2 really good practices, and it carried over to the game, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We did, as you said, had extremely good practices when we came back from break, which was encouraging. I think it was good for us to play a game before we get back into conference again, and statistically it shows that it was good for us.
You get back into conference against Nebraska Omaha. Nebraska Omaha's team that's given us fits over the years for whatever reason. They've trapped a little bit. They've had some size inside. Yesterday they did some of the same things that we've seen in the past, but we handled a little bit better, didn't we?
They're somewhat similar in that they're a pretty guard-oriented type team. They try to break you down on the dribble a lot. And I think in the first half we did a better job of curtailing their ability to do that. It was a battle back and forth the whole second half, and then we finally I thought we did some really good jobs and got some good defensive stops in the last 2.5 minutes, which is really the difference in the ball game.
Rachel Lutine, completely different player for you this year. Just talk about her performance so far this season.
It really has been so much more assertive and so much more confident. It's the rebounding and the aggressiveness and going after the ball. It has played a part defensively and getting rebounds, but that part is carried over in the offense. And in the game against Omaha yesterday, she wanted the ball. She was demanding the basketball at times in the second half, and the team was confident enough to go to her in some real crucial times.
Now you have Northwest on Wednesday. You have to go to Maryville. You only have 1 road win this year. Northwest, pretty good team inside and out. Just talk about the matchup with the Bearcats.
I think they're better than pretty good. I think they're very good, and they may be the most talented team, I think, in the conference, inside and out. As you mentioned, they have, Dietz is back now after sitting out a semester, and she was one of the top post players in the conference last year. and along with her is a new player that they've had inside that's been almost a double-double on a given day. Just extremely big player to deal with, and is very effective around the basket. And then you put Abby Henry and some of those other guards that they have on the perimeter. They've got an inside-outside threat that a lot of teams do not have, and so there's not one way to guard them. You have to kind of pick your poison and do the best that you can, I think, against them, because they're offensively they're very, very good and very talented. So it's going to be a really, really big test for us to see how we'll perform, not only against them, but on the road again, since we've been home for 4 games.
You have a Saturday date at Lincoln. Just talk about the matchup there.
You know, again, I haven't looked past one game to the next, so I really don't know. But all I've seen is the scores with Lincoln on the games that they played so far. So haven't given them really a lot of serious thought. But it is a road game, and from what I've heard, it's a kind of a tough place to play there sometimes. So we're not in any position whatsoever where we can take one team lightly by any means, so it's just another game on our schedule at this point.
Former Griffon standout Nicole Lindsay, an assistant coach on the bench for Lincoln, and you've done really well with the gold uniforms this year, 6-0 with them, I think, or 5-0 with them. The girls like them. Yeah. They love them. Do you take those on the road? Can you take gold on the road?
Yeah, we can.
Will you
as
do
long
it?
as the other team is wearing light or white. The rule states that you can wear the dark color, and gold is darker than white. So yeah, we will. In fact, we're planning on probably using them this Wednesday.
Okay, Lynn, moment I know you've been waiting for. Easley's Impromptu. It's back. It's back for the 3rd straight week. You ready to take the challenge?
No, but I guess either way, I got to take it.
How long are you going to have the beard? Are we going to have that till we lose? Hopefully it's there till the end of March at Civic Arena, but...
It may come back another day and it may be gone, so it's hard to say.
Who wins the Super Bowl?
Oh, who wins the Super Bowl?
Who's in the playoffs? Yeah. Should we ask you that?
That's right. You know, part of me wants to say the Bears could pull it off, but they're not a favorite, I'm sure. But a little bit of that Illinois blood is still in me.
Have you ever, or when is the last time you bought a lottery ticket?
Never have.
What's your favorite? No, check that. New Year's resolution, in the spirit of New Year's. Tough questions today, huh?
I know. Oh, don't have any specific. So again. Nothing there, sorry.
The man's honest.
Okay. Well, that is Lynn Plett. Good luck this Wednesday at Maryville.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
And we'll be right back.
Basketball to me is life.
Basketball to me means being together as a family.
Out there doing what I love with teammates I love.
5 players becoming a unit, working hard to get the job done.
Because it brings out the true character, you really find out really who you really are sometimes.
You learn not to take the easy answer. You learn to have a common goal. Those are the things that are important about basketball.
Welcome back to Griffon Sports Insider. It's the dead of winter, but a hint of spring is in the air.
In the air and on the ground, Western's new baseball and softball facilities are blossoming. And with a tour of the new spring sports complex, here's Missouri Western Athletic Director Dave Williams.
Spring Sports Complex is a project we've been working on since May of 2008, when the university bonded the money through the Max Experience to give us initial startup money for the capital projects to build a on-campus baseball field and on-campus softball field. Baseball field is very unique. It's built into a bowl concept, which makes it a great place to watch a baseball game. The infield and also the foul lines are made of artificial surface made from AstroTurf, which is the same company that provided us the turf field for the Griffon Indoor Sports Complex. The outfield then is a fescue grass, which will make it very playable surface. It's a big field. It's 330 down the line, going out to 400 to center field, and it will be one of the finest baseball fields in the MIAA and in the country for our level. The dugouts are professional dugouts. They're 65 feet long. They are inset into the ground about 2.5 feet. They have the special feature which is really good for Missouri baseball, and that they have heaters in the dugouts that will provide warmth for our players during the cold month of March and sometimes even February when we play home games. But they're major league quality dugouts, and they're really something that our players will really enjoy. Baseball field will seat 500 fans. The seat back chairs, there are 150 seat back chairs for baseball, and then bench seating for the remainder. There's also plenty of room up on top of the bowl for additional bleacher seating that we can bring in from our temporary bleachers. The softball field, after a year playing off campus, as it took us a year to build this softball field, has the same basic design of baseball. They're both built in a similar bowl situation that make the field very fan accessible and great places to watch games. Both baseball and softball fields will have lights, which will allow us to have night baseball and softball, as well as extend practices into the evening so we can miss less class time. Many improvements have happened over the last year with the Griffon Indoor Sports Complex and now the Spring Sports Complex, and we're really happy to be able to provide these types of facilities for our student athletes and future student athletes of Missouri Western.
The new complex is scheduled to be finished by the time Missouri Western baseball and softball begins play, which is late February, Brett.
Hard to believe, and right around the corner. Neat thing for baseball, though, that's an artificial turf infield, so won't have to worry about if it does snow, about the dirt drying up. They're going to be ready to play baseball if there's no snow on the ground. They've got a really nice place to play, as does Griffon softball.
First time ever that Missouri Western baseball has a home field, a field to call home.
Historic occasion.
GSI will be right back. Welcome back to GSI. No sharing of the Swami coat this week.
Well, it's a new year, but you know what? Some things change, some things stay the same, and the coat stays right here.
You got a commanding coat lead now. You went 8-2 the week before. I went 6-4, so you get the coat. I don't feel so bad about it other than pride hurt. Let's look at this week's matchups on Wednesday in the MIAA basketball, starting with Lincoln at Pittsburgh State.
Really can't pick Lincoln ever until they win. Pitt sweep at John Lance Arena.
I will take the same. Pitt. How about Southern at Emporia, Brett?
Good matchups on both sides. Who would have thought that when the year began? I'm going to take an Emporia sweep at Watertown.
I will take an Emporia sweep as well. I'm not going to go with an upset. Central at Hayes.
Looked like pretty good matchups when the year started. Central men's struggling, as are the Central women. I'm going to take a Hayes sweep.
Hayes sweep.
Yes.
Well, I guess I can't disagree. Central. Hayes sweep. How about it? Truman at Omaha.
Truman women clearly a lot better this year. I'm going to take Truman women on the road. Give me UNO. They're a good basketball team.
I'm going to take the same thing as well. Baptist at Washburn.
I've got a Washburn sweep. The SBU women are struggling, and Washburn men, SBU men, that's going to be a good matchup. But I'm going to take Washburn at home. I think they get it done.
I'll take the Washburn women and the Baptist men just to change things up. And the Ravens at the Chiefs, spread easily.
I'm usually a Chiefs homer. I'm going to tell you 4-12 is better than 10-6, but I don't like the matchup. I think the Chiefs season ends. Good season. Give me Baltimore.
You're picking against the Chiefs. Well, just for that, I'll pick the Chiefs.
Amen to that.
What the heck. That's Griffon Sports Insider for this week. Thanks so much for joining us. And as always,
go Griffs.
Go Griffs.
Basketball.
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 It's a dance.
"40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes of pure emotion. It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffin.